17 longest words. To start off this list of longest words, both with 21 letters, we have disproportionableness and incomprehensibilities, which are described in the 1992 Guinness Book of World Records as the most popular long words. Disproportionableness means the state of being disproportionate, and incomprehensibilities means unintelligent, a difficulty to understand or comprehend. You understand? Next up with 27 letters is the word anti-transubstantiationalist, which is the doubt that consecrated bread and wine can change into the body and blood of Christ, respectively. We feel this word should be more well known with the amount of atheists that exist in modern day. Another 27-letter word coming up, electroencephalographically, an instrument for recording the electrical activity of the brain, usually by means of electrodes placed on the scalp, used to diagnose tumors of the brain, to study brain waves, etc. This is the longest unhyphenated word in the 10th edition of Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. The final 27-letter word, honorific habilitude imitatibus, basically just means honorableness. The word was first introduced in 1599 by Shakespeare in his play Love's Labour's Lost. It was said during Act 5, Scene 1, quote, "Oh, they have lived long on the alms basket of words. I marvel thy master hath not eaten thee for a word, for thou art not so long by the head as honorific habilitudinibus. Thou art easier swallowed than a flapdragon." There are no other words used by Shakespeare that are greater than 17 letters in length. Moving on to 28 letters now, we have the word anti-disestablishmentarianism, which, if we do say so ourselves, is a word which most people have at least heard of in the modern day, as this word has become a lot more popular in recent times, and some people think this is the longest word in the dictionary. However, they are mistaken. This word is defined as the belief which opposes removing the tie between church and state. Floccinaucini-hillypillification, 29 letters long. This is often referred to as the longest real word in the Oxford English Dictionary. However, there is some debate, as many people think the words that are longer than this one are real too, which we'll get into shortly. This word means assuming something is worthless, and it dates back to 1741. Ironically, although it is one of the longest words, the letter E, which is the most common letter, doesn't appear at all in this word. Now, we realize that this list is getting more difficult to read the words, but this list of hepatomonstrosesquipedalian words is worth it, including that word at 30 letters, which literally means lengthy words. This is from Mrs. Burns' Dictionary of Unusual, Obscure, and Preposterous Words. The next word, many argue, isn't real, as it was first used in the Walt Disney movie Mary Poppins, but many have used it in real life, and it's earned a place in Oxford's English Dictionary. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is 34 letters long, and is from the song of the same title. But then one day I learned a word that saved me aching nose, the biggest word you ever heard, and this is how it goes: supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And that's about it for the singing for me. Runner-up for longest words is hepaticocholangioscolcystenterostomies at 37 letters long. This is a medical term found in Gould's Medical Dictionary. It's the surgical creation of a connection between the gallbladder and a hepatic duct, and between the intestine and the gallbladder. And now we come to the longest word in the English Dictionary, smiles. There's a whole mile in between the first and last letters. Just kidding. The real longest word is pneumono-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. With 45 letters, this is the longest word in any English dictionary. It's a lung disease that results from breathing in volcanic ash. The word was invented by Everett Smith, who was the president of the National Puzzlers League. However, he was only president because of his invention of the new longest word in 1935. But let's not stop there. Let's go from longest words to chemical terms, which are also considered to be amongst the longest words. Back at 26 letters, we have ethylene diamine tetraacetic, which is a type of acid. It's abbreviated as EDTA and appears in the 10th edition of Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. At 29 letters, we have trinitrophenylmethylnitramine. This is a type of explosive and is the longest chemical term in the 3rd edition of Webster's Dictionary. At 31 letters, dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane, abbreviated to DDT, is a pesticide that's used to kill lice. This is the longest word in the Macquarie Dictionary and was also introduced into the Oxford English Dictionary for its 2nd edition. Dimethylamido-phenyldimethylpyrrozolone and formaldehyde tetramethylamidofluoramine are both 27-letter words, which are chemical terms introduced into the 2nd edition of the Oxford English Dictionary. Next up, at 39 letters, is tetramethyldiaminobenzhydrophosphanus. This is a type of acid and is currently the longest chemical term in the Oxford English Dictionary. It doesn't have its own entry, however, it is in a citation for another word. The next long word is a whopping 1,185 letters. Relax, we're not going to try and pronounce it or even say it because we both know we'd get it wrong and we simply don't have time for that. But the word is a chemical term for tobacco. This is considered by some to be the longest word. Now, what some people don't believe to be an actual word, however some others do, is a ridiculous 189,819 letters long. A man was recorded spending over 3.5 hours pronouncing this word. This word is the chemical name of titin, also known as connectin, which is the largest known protein. We don't know who came up with this word, but what the heck were they thinking? What good is a word if it takes over 3.5 hours to pronounce it? And that's while reading the word. No way in hell could anyone remember it. It can be shortened down to methional-threonyl-threonyl-glutyl-minal-arginal-isoleucine. But even then, that's a lot of letters, which many people would still end up forgetting. There are a few place names which are worth a mention, but we won't get much into detail after that last word. These can include Lanfair, Pwilgwyn, Gil, Goguri, Chwern, Drobwil, Lanty, Silio, Gogogok. The most popular of these place names, which most people at least recognize. This town is in Wales. Also in Wales is Orsa Fordac Aid Rego Dan Hido Gleddolan Penrhyn Ardraith Ceredigion. But the longest place name is a place in New Zealand that means the top of the hill. And that place is Tomata Waka Tangi Hanga Kawahu o Tamati Turipukaka Piki Monga Horo Nuku Pokai Wanua Katana Tahu. Whew.